Welcome to Outsider Reviews, and today we've got a special guest. Not Brian, he's behind the camera. Say hi, Brian. But we've got Luc with his 2023 Nissan Frontier Pro 4X.
Thank you guys for having me.
Well, thank you for bringing us your Frontier. It's definitely a nice looking truck, and we're going to get right into it, folks. I love the front fascia of this truck. The black, the written Frontier, the orange contrast here. It is definitely a very good. Now you do have to upgrade to the Pro 4X to get the LED lighting. I'm a little bit biased. I think everything should be LED nowadays. Halogen was so yesterday. But if you get this truck, get in the Pro 4X. It is actually worth it. Nick, overall, like, you spent how much for this truck? We're gonna get right into the pricing. It's about 52, I think.
Yeah, I had a trade-in, so it's about 52.
About 52,000, and you're getting top trim level for the Nissan Frontier. So I think that's very worth it, especially in today's economy. What you're getting is, like I said, LED. You get the tow hooks, orange tow hooks down here, skid plate down here to protect the underbody of the vehicle. Now, if you're wondering what this vehicle can actually have, you have 310 horsepower, 281 pounds-feet of torque, and it comes in a 9-speed transmission. It does offer you 13.3 liters per 100 kilometers in city, 10.5 on the highway, and 12 combined. Now, what we found is, well, you found actually, because you've been driving this truck for about 4 months, right?
Yeah.
So we're getting an average, as we looked in, 12.3 liters per 100 kilometers. That is very decent for a truck this size.
Especially with a right foot, heavy right foot, yeah.
Yeah, and we have a V6 underneath there, 3.8 liter V6, naturally aspirated, so there's no turbos involved. And I drove it today. Luke let me drive it, and it's pretty torquey. You can actually spin out the tires if you want to. But that just shows you, like, it's got a pretty good low-end torque, right?
Right, yeah.
So, Luke, you actually enjoy driving just a little bit more. Now, these vents, they're not real, so that is just aesthetically pleasing. But we're going to follow in through the vehicle. What about the tires? Because these actually don't look stock. They're, Nick, you want to tell us about the tires?
The tires are stuck. The rims are different.
Yeah, the rims, sorry. Yeah.
I mean, I kept the other rims for winter tire because in Quebec we need to change back and forth, and I put the rims on it, which are Canadian, by the way, which is awesome. And they had a good deal on it, so I'm pretty happy. They have 20 mm offset, so that helps the handling of the truck a little bit, for sure, and it also helps the look.
Now, as far as capability, this truck does tow about 6,000 pounds, which is a bit lower compared to competitors, but you gotta get what you give. This is top trim, more bells and whistles, and like, you gotta take a little bit and give a little, but you're pretty happy with that, right?
I'm happy with it. I won't tow 6,000.
Yeah, and payload is about 1,000 pounds, 1,020 pounds. Again, if we're comparing numbers here, the Ranger does tow about 7,500 pounds, the Gladiator 7,600 pounds, the Canyon 7,700 pounds. But if I'm comparing price-wise, I wrote this all down, folks. But if I compare price range, like the Frontier starts at 40,000. If I'm comparing in price, guys, the Frontier starts at $40,000, but the Tacoma starts at 41, and the Ranger starts at 41. So there's obviously about a $1,000 to $2,000 price difference. Back here, and got the Pro 4X badge. Now there is usually a decal right here saying Pro 4X, but you didn't want that.
I had it removed at the dealership.
You had it removed at the dealership, so it does come with a little nice fancy sticker on the side telling you it's a Pro 4X. Then we got tailgate. It's a dampered tailgate, so it won't drop like a rock. The interior is Brian's drone bag. So it can easily fit a drone bag. And also it comes with this nice railing system, and hooks, anchor points. So we do have 4 anchor point that comes with it and the railing system. Look, you had to purchase these though, right?
Now, these 2 comes with the truck.
These things?
Yeah, the first 2 comes.
The first 2 come with a truck.
Right.
And to buy additional ones,
Yeah, about $100.
about $100 each, right?
Yeah.
So you built this on the
Yeah.
railing.
I watched this kid on YouTube where you can basically with that and just take it flat and put a little bit, cut it up and put a slide into it, and it cost me about $5.
Oh, there you go. There's a nice handy feature. If you guys want one of these, just call Luke. Now we're going to take a look at the inside of the Nissan Frontier. And look, I'll tell you, the interior doesn't impress me as much as the exterior. The exterior is wow. I love the exterior of the Nissan Frontier. Especially when they did the redesign last year. I thought it looked great. Now I come inside, yes, I do see some double stitching. And I do see there's some orange a little bit all over the place, keeping with the theme of having the orange contrast. However, this looks a little bit outdated for a vehicle that just got refreshed.
Correct.
But you're the driver, you're the one that drives it on a daily basis.
Yep.
Take us to the inside. What are your thoughts and what you like and what you don't like?
Okay, to stay with the screen, coming from a Honda, a Ridgeline 2020, my last one, this looks more like a truck. The Honda didn't look as much as a truck as this guy.
Okay.
Fair enough, I agree with you, it's not defensive, but I agree it's more integrated in the dashboard. So
Okay,
it doesn't feel like, sometimes like Mazda is sticking out
It
of there.
doesn't stick out. Yeah, the Toyota one too is square, but it sticks out.
It's like that. So, of course, it has a little bit of the piano color around it. We all know the stain about the piano
Piano
stuff.
black. Stop putting stuff piano black, people.
Yeah.
Carry on.
But that aside, it's a nice screen. It's easy to touch. It responds well to my touch. I mean, you see, you can it's fairly fast. It works well, and you have different view. And I kind of like it. Works well for me. Yes, it does have the control, but some people Honda removed them, and then they had to put it back. They had too much complaint. I rarely use that guy. I tend to use the one on the steering wheel because the Honda didn't have any.
Yeah. So you got used. You got PTSD from
Exactly.
your Honda Ridgeline, and now you're just
You got used
confined
to
to that. Yeah.
AC works fine so far. We've been to a couple of serious heat wave. It worked great. I had no problem. A lot of cool air. It says it go low. It stops at 18, but it gets a lot cooler than that. But the dash says 18, but I know it gets cooler than that.
Okay, and we do have dual zone climate controls.
Correct.
Which is cool. And let's keep in mind, like for the price, not a lot of manufacturers will offer you all these accommodations, including in this price, which is roughly around $52,000 Canadian.
Yeah.
So I do like that too. Heated seat, not ventilated seat. That's a little bit weird for a top trim truck because this is Nissan's top trim. But there is a luxury package you could add, but I don't think that includes ventilated seats either.
I personally don't recall seeing it either.
No. So that is kind of weird, but I mean, we're right here in northern Quebec, so it's very rare that we need to use those. But for those that live down south, that could be a stinging point.
Yeah.
Taking us to you got a heated steering wheel, parking assist,
Yeah.
and then you do have a bunch of controls. You have your diff locking here, 4 low, 4 high, and your locking button is on the opposite side.
Correct.
I like to actually see like driving controls be kind of like in the same area instead of having to go from one side to the other. But I do understand that we're limited in the space.
I hear you. Yeah. I even saw videos of guy moving them around.
Yeah.
I've seen guy doing it. I've seen videos of it on YouTube. Yeah.
And I can understand why, but I also understand why they had to separate it. And a lot of vehicles are putting stuff down here.
Yeah.
Love the shifter, like you were saying. You love the of having going from Ridgeline where you push.
A button,
It's
yeah.
a push button, having a physical shifter that you actually feel
Correct.
it shift. And now that moves us to the cup holders, big enough for big gulps, which is great. And you were saying you can put a tablet in there
you
as
can
well.
put a tablet that way into it. I mean, I tested it with my tablet. It stays there.
Yeah. And we do have a wired Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay. Weird, guys, I know. I think everything should be wireless nowadays. They do have the technology. But yeah, the cup holder positioning is actually very good. That's one of our things at heart here. And the shifter is great, and all the other controls. What controls do you have on the other side?
On the other side, I have the lamp for the back if I want to keep the lamp. I have a hill control descent. I have the traction control and the lock differential. So basically everything there is more like if you do the off-roading. I would call it that way. Since I don't do much off-roading, I'm fine with it for now. I mean, that's okay. But yeah, I mean, this one is a little bit of a pain to reach. I also have a tow mode. The tow mode is, I haven't tried yet. That's the only mode. There is no real sport, snow, sand, whatever else mode. You can sure shift and go to a manual shift, which is a lot of fun if you want to, which is nice. But beside it, I kind of like having a shifter again, maybe because I'm old.
Comfort, like ride stability wise, because this does have the Bilstein suspension.
It drives a little rough, I would say. It's not as comfy as my Ridgeline was to compare, but it's still a nice truck. The back end gets unsettled when you get to a couple of ripples. You feel your back end being light, but besides it's fine.
So it's not too loose of a suspension, right?
No,
when you see cornering,
no.
when you go too loose, and the same thing braking. If you're too loose,
the TRD Pro was a lot softer. When I test drive the TRD Pro, it seems to me that the TRD Pro was a lot softer.
Yeah, you're talking about the Tacoma, right?
Tacoma, sorry.
Yeah. Other than that, it's a very truck-like interior. I like the way the hood scoops are. Not the scoops, sorry, but the cutouts. It just gives you a very truck feel. And now you've activated your camera system. I do find that the quality might be a little bit less than what you're seeing out there from competitors.
Correct.
But I mean, you still get your 360 view, overhead view, and you still get your
direction when you're backing up.
So I think that takes us a little bit through the interior. Name us a couple things you don't like about the interior and a couple things that you really like.
About the interior. About the interior. I wish the steering wheel was more adjustment, but I'm fine. It's not. It's only tilting. It's not telescoping. That would be one. I wish I had a mirror that gets dark by itself.
The auto dimming.
Okay. And as you can see, I mean, although I have this little thing flashing telling me I have someone in my my dead blind spot. Thank you very much. I installed this little round mirror which gives me a lot of view, and I basically only drive with it. I see the light, but it's just an annoyance to me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we are all about getting views here at Outsider Reviews. Thank you for viewing this video. Please like and subscribe. Ding. Overall,
I'm pretty happy with the vehicle. It's different. I changed because I just wanted to change something. I wanted to drive something else. I like the look. It's a more truck than a SUV compared to a Ridgeline, no doubt about it. And that's fine. I knew it when I was getting into it. I'm glad it's a V6 because I don't really want a turbo. I don't want to deal with turbo. The more moving parts, the more likely you're gonna have to replace them. And besides being a V6 with history, I mean, this truck has history of having a really good longevity with good mileage and reliability. So that's what I'm in for.
As far as backroom, I mean, in this segment of truck, the mid-size level truck is always going to be a little bit more compact back here. I'm 5'9", and this seating position is for a person that's 6'1", Luke that owns the car. So this is about how much room we have. I personally would not be, I actually like the legroom that I have. As far as knee space and head space, I'm comfortable here. I wouldn't take a long road trip, but I have bad knees. So you guys sit in the back and you tell us, but I actually feel like it's pretty good. We do have a 12 volt, 120 volt, plug-in, USB-A and USB-C. And as always, we have cup holders, which is always great. So this concludes our review for the 2023 Nissan Frontier Pro X. It's actually a long-term review since he's had it for 4 months. Look, overall, would you buy it again?
Yep.
Well, there you have it, folks. Now don't forget to like and subscribe and press that little notification bell. Thank you for watching.